We should be live right now. So, hello everybody. I'm Paolo Santanicchia, and welcome to the 8th episode of PodcAds, the podcast where I talk about meta ads and digital marketing in general, interviewing the maximum experts around the world about specific topics. Today, with us, we have Dylan Under, which is a CRO specialist, but go introduce yourself for the ones that don't know you. So tell a bit about you and about what you do, so we have a little bit of context before starting.
Awesome, happy to. So hey guys, my name is Dylan. I like data, but I like all parts of marketing. I started my first drop shipping store when I was in college, so I've been doing this a very long time now. So just in my background really quick, I built and exited 2 e-commerce brands. I recently built up splittesting.com. We're the largest CRO agency in the e-commerce space. So we've worked with True Classic Tees, Hexclad, Portland Leather Goods, nuts.com, a lot of like the biggest, D2C sweethearts, as we like to call them. So, a lot of 9-figure brands, obviously 8 9-figure brands. I used to own an agency that was just Facebook ads, Google, SEO, YouTube, like really everything you could think of. And one of my mentors said, well, Dylan, which one of these is the biggest opportunity and you're the best at? I said, well, this was years ago. I was like, this whole CRO thing's crazy. Like I have a $50,000 a month contract with Geico, and I ran one split test and made them more money split testing a headline than all of our SEO campaigns. So he's like, well, there's your answer. So I tripled down on CRO, which I recommend to any entrepreneur out there. If there's something that you are just better than a lot of people at and just really you can focus on, go through and do that. It's mission critical. So from there, just focused down on CRO, built one of the largest agencies, had a beautiful 8-figure exit to Acadia. Founder is Jared Belsky. He's the founder of 360i, 1,000-person marketing agency. So it was really nice passing it off to people who are care and, care about clients, care about the team. And so, we had a lot of offers in the business, but it was really awesome. Happy to always talk on that side as well. It's more of a rare topic to talk on, but obviously happy to go in the weeds and give tactical advice on CRO. And now I'm the founder of heatmap.com. We're the first heat map in the world with revenue attribution on every single element on your website. And we have AI coming up. So it'll literally tell you what is hurting your conversion rate on your website. And that is it. You snap it on. It doesn't hurt your site speed or performance at all. Really that simple. So whether it's lead generation, which we have coming soon, revenue attribution on e-commerce, clicks ain't cash is the whole reason I created it, because just because where people click on your website doesn't mean what on your website is driving sales or what clicks are even leading to revenue. So I always wanted this tool for years. So no one else was building it. So I said, screw it. I put in most of my life savings, and here we are a month and a half into the beta, and it's already growing beyond what we imagined. So everything's awesome.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, as you mentioned, so you are pretty focused on the CRO thing. So you have an agency, which is splittesting.com, if I'm not wrong, and so you even positioned yourself as an expert. I see on Twitter there are maybe just 2 more people like you that publish constant content on Twitter. So I have also so many questions that my audience asked to you, and I'm sure that you will provide a lot of value. And if you don't follow Dylan, I recommend you to follow him on Twitter, because I also activated the notifications on your tweets, because I find them always valuable. And regardless of if you make meta ads or you make CRO, Google ads, or anything else, having a little bit of information and context about what CRO is and how to get better at CRO is a must, I would say. So the first question, which is asked by one of my followers, is what is your CRO process or methodology? So how do you start optimizing a website? How do you understand which to optimize first, and how to prioritize all of your activities in doing CRO?
Absolutely. That's the same answer I give always, which is, Paolo, if you and I are working together, you're running meta ads and I'm optimizing a website, you don't matter. I don't matter. The founder of our client doesn't matter. All that matters is their customers. So everything starts and ends with the customers. I start every keynote with the same sentence, which is whoever understands their customers the best wins. You can look at data all day. You can look at UX all day. You can look at copywriting all day. But if you don't know who you're doing any of that to, it's all useless and you're just taking a guess, right? A lot of CRO is about a hypothesis, which is an educated guess. The funny thing is, a lot of people think that an educated guess means that you are highly educated and you're taking a guess, but that is wrong. An educated guess means you have data and understanding of customers to actually take an educated guess based on what the customers say and do. So we start every single campaign with understanding the customers. That comes down to customer feedback surveys are the number one way. And all of this, if you're a media buyer as well, like, I'm almost done with my book. It's called Why Your Website Sucks. It'll be a lot of fun. And the example I give in the book is an athletic sneaker company that uses mesh inner soles, right? So it's like unique. When you're selling sneakers, you need to ask the customers, what made you buy our sneakers? It could be the appearance, that they like how they looked. They were looking for a cost-effective sneaker. It could be that they're trying to prevent injuries. It could be that they want durability, meaning it'll last for a while. Like, there's so many reasons why people could buy a sneaker. So if most people are trying to prevent injuries and that's most important to them, why would you talk about the cost or the durability so much? You need to give the people what they want. The other phrase I always give is ask your customers what they want, give your customers what they want, and they'll give you what you want, which is money. And that's really the long and the short of it. So we go with customer feedback surveys to start. Heat maps are the most underutilized tool because you get to see literally what people are doing, screen recordings, watch what they're doing. It's really important. We do user testing. User testing is not split testing. User testing is when you have a software that asks people to go through questions on your website and actually understand what these customers are doing on their website. Is there friction? Are there unmet needs? Are they trying to find information that they actually can't find? All of that is just, again, so far I've mentioned nothing about a website. I've only spoken about customers, and that's the whole point. To take it even further, we need to look at the data. That's when you start to look at the data, but the whole point is to understand, where are your customers dropping off? So even if you want to take it, I always say, if someone comes into our platform, if someone we hire as an agency client or hires us as an agency, if they've done customer phone calls and interviews, they're sickos, because only the deepest CROs actually do it. So calling your customers and asking the same questions in live time, you may have to make 10 phone calls to get one person to pick up, but that one person who pick up's like, I don't know, I've never really had people say no to answering questions like, what made you buy our products? Like, like if it's sneakers, what do you use your sneakers for? Are you like a football player, tennis player? Are you a runner? Like finding that. So if you find out your customers are runners, why would you run ads to your sneakers of people playing tennis? That doesn't make sense. That's not your target. That's not your demographic. So all of this is just as useful for email marketing, for SEO, for Facebook ads, for Google ads, like literally every single part of marketing. Every marketer needs to understand their customers, and most don't. And that's why most meta campaigns fail, because you guys don't understand your customers. So you have to do all of that before you even touch a website.
Yeah, this is something that always comes down when I spoke to Sarah Levinger, which is a girl that
I love that
you
girl.
told me.
Sarah, we love you.
Yeah, exactly. And what she says and what I see that is common between our two side of jobs is that you need to understand your customers first to create a campaign, as you said, to do the CRO, to do the Google ads, email marketing, and so on. And this is pretty crucial when you run ads and when you do anything that has to do with marketing, because marketing has to do with people. and if you understand people, you are able to do marketing the right way. And the question you mentioned, that you look at the surveys. So for example, someone who or written surveys, so a type form and so on, but also you mentioned the phone calls and so on, and this is something that I always recommend also to my customers to do, most of all if they are just starting, if they have a small client base. But what do you recommend, or how would you act when the data volume is higher? So how do you make statistical predictions? So okay, thousand of people are buying because they want to play tennis, 1,000 because they want to prevent injuries, and so on. How would you move from that point of view?
It's identical, same process. So if you have a customer feedback survey with 300 answers, and in the sneaker example, injuries is number one and durability is number two, meaning how long they last.
Yeah.
You may make a landing page to push some meta ads to about how long your sneakers last. You may have another landing page which is towards runners and preventing injuries, right? So based on the two of those, you can start segmenting your traffic. And Facebook, first off, by the way, anyone who runs meta ads, highly encourage, if you guys ever say the word algorithm when talking about Facebook or meta ads, it's wrong. Change that word to customers and audience. So if you say, oh, I'll just leave it up to the algorithm, let's see what the algorithm likes. No. What is the audience like? What are the customers like, right? So when you're running your broad ads and you need to see what customers like, notice I said what the customers like, not what the algorithm likes. So super important. So if you give, like we have some brands as large as True Classic Tees, and like for the largest brands that you need to use, there's different demographics. Like once you're spending, I don't know, 100,000 a day on Meta alone and more, then you need to start segmenting. We found about like 100 to 150,000 a day in Meta is really when you need to start like dividing it a lot. Or maybe about like 50,000 a day is really when it starts, that you need to start having different landing pages for different segments. And then Facebook's audiences will actually go through and find, those people that are more catered to those landing pages. So it's really not so much the ad, it's the landing page.
Yeah, that's correct. And also, you mentioned correctly that once you start spending a lot, you must segment your customers. And from this point of view, here comes the second question. That is, do you tailor your landing pages based on the source, or at least the placement of where of the advertising traffic? Because as you mentioned, you advise to divide like the demographics and send them to a different landing page. How do you manage that, and how is also the communication with the meta advertiser, but also what are like your advices on this topic?
Yeah, so obviously Meta has a much cheaper cost per click because it's outbound, right? Like no one is going on Meta to find your sneakers. People on Google are inbound. So they're there, they've searched to find sneakers, so they're already looking for sneakers. So the people on Google are highly education focused. Running listicles and advertorials are great there. Listicles and advertorials are also stellar on Meta, as long as you understand that the ad needs to match the landing page, right? So if the story that you're telling in the ad, even if it's just an image, you are telling a story on your ad. So in the ad, it needs to match the landing page. So on Google, there is no creative really. Of course, there's copywriting on it, but it's pretty cut and dry on Google. So it's just getting to the right people. From there on Meta, it's a lot more broad. So you need to teach the audience, not the algorithm, of who is actually responding to it best. And for Meta, I just put up a landing page. I love listicles and advertorials. I can't recommend them enough. The long form landing pages work, but if you're able to effectively build a listicle or an advertorial the right way, I've never seen it not outperform a long form landing page. So that's just in general for Meta, because for Meta, they need so much information because they weren't looking for sneakers or your shoes or your, furniture online. You need to convince them. And the ad doesn't do the convincing. That's another thing that a lot of Meta advertisers do wrong, is they try to make the sale on the ad. The whole purpose of the ad is just to get the click to the landing page, which is what does the selling. So don't try to cater your ads to do all the selling for you. People make a lot of mistakes in their ad copy because they're trying to give all the benefits and all the reasons you should do it. No, just let them click and then let the landing page do that. So highly education focused is always necessary for Meta. Google can be shorter because people are already looking for something. Like pushing to a PDP on Google does just fine. There's plenty of brands that do well pushing to a PDP on, Meta, but it's less so. The visual brands like jewelry or fashion or accessories, things that like you're judging based on the image, they don't need as much information. But anything that is not fashion or accessories, PDP usually doesn't work the best, and I recommend going over to a true landing page, long form listicle or advertorial, or at least a long form landing page.
Yeah. I also noticed that, as you say, you don't need to explain all the informations in your meta ads, talking about specifically about that, because meta is just they are scrolling and they need to see at first sight if they are interested or not, so that the landing page can convert. And so you need to the many advertisers are taking their ads as if they were the landing pages. So they need to explain everything. They need to say everything about the shipping, the shipping things, the shipping conditions, and so on. And so you also mentioned the copy, and we are also talking about copywriting. So the copywriting on the ads must not be as in your landing page, because of course it is a different stage of awareness also of your customers. But how do you ensure the consistency between an ad and a landing page? Because of course many studies, but also from my experience, and many can relate, if as much as your ads is consistent with the landing page where you are sending the traffic to, the more you are able to convert, or the higher at least would be the conversion rate. What is your experience on this, first of all? So if you also notice that, and secondly, how do you guarantee this consistency, or how do you try to make it?
I'll answer number 2 before number 1, because one trick that I do is when we have Figma mockups on landing pages, I actually put the ad creatives above it. So you're looking on Figma at your ads and your landing page. So now you really know if they match. So if it doesn't make sense to click as the ad above the fold and then the actual above the fold of the landing page, that's all that matters. The other way that I like to do it is above the fold, meaning like where the bottom of the screen is. 100% of people see above the fold. So sometimes forget the rest of the landing page. Like there's no point in optimizing something that on the bottom that only 20% of people see if there's something that 100% of people see. Why would you optimize down there before you're getting a lot of people to scroll and have good scroll depth? So putting the ad next to the hero image or the hero section of it and mocking up that way. So, sometimes horizontally it makes more sense than vertically, but to be able to look at the ad and then exactly what they're looking at, assume that you get no sales to scroll beyond the hero section, that all they could do is click a button if they're sold. So if the ad and the hero section together can do the selling and someone's saying, oh, that seems like something right that I should purchase. If those two things alone do it, the rest is easy. So that's how I ensure that there's a match between the ad and the landing page. If there's value propositions, like there's a lot of supplement brands, there's like the actual bottle and then relieves joint pain, helps this, helps hair, right? Like there's things like that. If all of those aren't in the landing page, just usually choose one, run a customer feedback survey, ask what biggest benefit they get or what made them buy. If it's hair versus joint pain, make the landing page about hair, make the ad about hair. Don't, try to include all of them and then you're on your landing page and it's just selling one. So that's kind of
Okay.
been the way that I've found, is really look at the value propositions. Obviously, you need something scroll stopping on your ad creative to make sure that people actually want to click it and do click it. But yeah, that's really what the match from the ad to the landing page looks like. So I think I answered both, but gave one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this is so interesting. So you put like the Figma in the same project of Figma, where you like do the design of the website. You propose the design of the website and the ads together and near, in order to see if there is any any correlation, any continuity. And also my question, because you mentioned that listing the benefits on meta ads and on the landing page, for example. So let's suppose that as you made before the example of I don't remember about
Sneakers,
supplements and
oh,
supplements also, the supplements. So let's suppose that they have three main benefits. How would you decide which informations to put in the ads, if you have any advice about it, and how to like prioritize in your landing page which of them to list first, which of them to like dive deeper with copywriting into the landing page. Of course, you would say list before the ones that the people most asked or most mentioned in their surveys. But how is like this correlation be among the ads and the landing page from this point of view, when there are more benefits?
3 words: ask your customers.
Okay.
You'll hear me say it the entire time, but you will be mind blown if you actually care about your customers, actually ask them what they need, and actually implement it. So let's say there's because when you ask them what made you buy our product, I always
Yeah.
recommend it's a multiple choice question. So you'll have actual numbers: 700 answered this one, 600 answered this one, 200 answered this one. So, okay, these two benefits are clearly the two. So let's
Okay.
take those two and focus on just those two, or even one, just the top answer, right? But because like you don't have the biggest sample size in a customer feedback survey, try them. Just try them. So just ask the customers, and whatever they say is what you do. It's kind of like having a boss at a job. Like your boss is your customers.
Use your customers. Yeah. Yeah, that's I totally agree on this. And also talking about the correlation between meta ads or any advertising in general and the landing page where you are sending traffic to. Have you seen from your experience, of course, any correlation between like the type of landing page which is converting more and the advertising platform you're using? For example, you mentioned before Google Ads work a lot, work very well also on product pages, but also on advertorials, because they are like more an inbound people, and Meta more an outbound people, which maybe must be educated before with a long form landing page and so on. But what is your experience on this? Do you have like any best practices for each advertising platform?
So one thing I would say that a lot of people sleep on, that not a lot of people do, is pushing traffic to a homepage. Especially if you have a lot of products, just get them to the homepage. Make sure your homepage has a landing page type of feel. So typically for Meta or for Google Ads, I just run with running ads to the homepage or the product page. I don't really use landing pages from Google Ads. I'm sure it works out there. This is just in my experience what works best. And again, there's plenty of brands that might have long form landing pages on Google Ads that work beautifully. But just again, my best practice of what I've seen work best, and the biggest brands that I've worked with, yeah, homepage or product page work best for Google Ads. And then, you want to look at listicles and advertorials. It's very hard to write advertorials, and people don't really know how to. But I recommend watching some YouTube videos, take a look at your competitors. if yours makes sense. Usually it's health-based, if they're health and wellness products, consumables, like things that people are like putting in their body, because like your body is sacred, right? So you need to protect your body, so you need to be educated enough. So listicles and advertorials and long form landing pages all give that, additional education. So I like to lean education first on my meta ad landing pages. And education first is really just another fancy word for saying customer first, because they're all that matter.
Yeah, of course, of course. Okay, that's so interesting. And so basically, the next question, which is a little bit of generic, so feel free to answer based on your experience or based on guesses or on the experiences of your colleagues and so on. I know that's pretty generical because I also suppose you work on different industries, more niches, so everyone would have a different answer. But what is there something that you have seen that is performing recently from a CRO point of view that maybe it's something new, something that people didn't think about before? It is not one of the best practices in the CRO space, or something like that.
Yeah, there's a landing form type that I've been finding works really well. You'll hear me talk a lot about listicles. They're the 5 reasons why. Where everyone goes wrong on listicles. Whenever I see listicles that don't work well, it's because they say 5 reasons why everyone is buying our product. No, you're selling to them. They read the headline and they're like, oh, this is a brand trying to sell to me. But if you take the third party perspective, 5 reasons why this well-respected doctor is recommending this new supplement, right? And then you go through, give a little bit of the pain points, like, are you suffering from joint pain, arthritis? Is it hard to do the old activities you've done? Well, here's 5 reasons why you should check out this supplement. You go through, you have your 5 reasons. The buy box at the end. So if you have any call to action buttons above anything, like literally until they get to the absolute bottom of the page, there's no way that they can buy. A lot of marketers think, oh, well, you want them to be able to buy. But no, they must scroll through absolutely everything. The people that would have just gone through 20, 30% of the top of the page, they weren't going to buy anyways. So why have ads cart buttons above there, or like buy now buttons up there? That means they're being sold to. They want to feel educated. If you have any bit of sales copy saying our products or our whatever, or like we created this, no, this person created this person did that, this product does this. So that's really where the listicles go wrong. But then kind of to answer your question of the unique part of the listicle, most people have a buy box at the bottom where they can just click to buy and then go. No. What I've done is I found buy boxes that you click shop now for a special offer and it brings them to a PDP. And then on that product page is where they purchase. So what happens is they get really educated. If they're actually interested, which are the only people that are going to buy, then they go to the product page. A lot of them, like when watching screen recordings, they'll just click right there and buy because they're already sold. But if they want to scroll down, but on top of that, because they're now on your product page, they can see other products. They can see your navigation. They can see all the other things that you offer. So maybe you educated them on a certain product. They landed on that product page. But now you realize they went back to the homepage and started their whole shopping experience again. Back in 2016, 2014, 15, like all in then, the less clicks to get to a purchase, the better. Now, think about yourself being in a store. If you go through a store and it's just one aisle, you would be very uncomfortable. You want to be able to walk wherever you want in the store. So in the page, like on websites, people like feeling like they're shopping. They don't like feeling like they're sold to. So that listicle that educates them to the product page, most of the time they'll go and just buy that product because that's what they've been reading about. But also I found there's other products as well. So for Meta, that is what works best from what I'm finding. And that's something that I've not seen really any others do. So our clients have been getting that benefit.
That's great. So is this called listicles? So it's like a blog post where they explain something and they sell you with just a button in the at the bottom of the page that they can't see, like those in the sticky way, like use sticky add to carts in product pages. This doesn't work on this kind of thing, and this is so interesting. And it reminded me of maybe a tweet that I made in which I asked you something and you answered me. I don't remember if it was you. I remember it was also Barry Hot, which answered me. I don't remember if also you replied, but maybe you or Barry said the products that are best performing in your ads are not always the products that are best performing in your e-commerces. And this is because maybe people are like attracted from a yellow t-shirt because they find it fancy, and then they go to the website and they purchase the blue one because it makes them feel more reassured, more powerful, or something like that. And from this, and that generated me another question. So how useful is to like focus on that? So for example, I promote a yellow t-shirt and they buy a blue t-shirt, and that's good like this. And how much instead we should focus on, okay, they are mostly buying a blue t-shirt, let's promote a blue t-shirt also on the ads. Have you ever seen like this, if this is working, or if like people are unpredictable, and if they are selling with and they are buying a blue t-shirt with a yellow one, let's let it do it?
Two answers. Number one, if a lot of people are buying the blue shirt, like if you look at your Shopify or whatever you use, if you look at your data and your number one seller is a blue shirt across all your different products, yeah, push the blue shirt for sure. That's number one. And then number two is, guess what? Ask your customers. And it sounds really basic again, but I guess number three more for you. I don't know if your audience is familiar with DPA ads or dynamic products ads. So running DPA ads, if you do have a fashion brand and sell a couple different types of shirts, run them all in there. Another major hack is, I don't know if you've heard of Marpipe. Marpipe is an awesome product where like you're able to get this, in your DPA ads, you're able to actually customize and design all of them, and it makes improvements go through the roof. So to your audience, if you guys aren't using Marpipe and you're running a lot of money through DPA ads, go jump on it, because I've seen like crazy results. And shout out Dan, the founder. Hey, buddy.
That's great. That's great. So for the moment, I don't have any other questions. I would wait if someone has some to ask in the comments. And in the meantime, I just repeat what was this episode about. I am Paolo Santanicchia. I'm the founder of PodcAds, and PodcAds is the podcast where we talk about meta ads and digital marketing in general, as you had the chance to listen or watch with this interview. This was Dylan Under, which I really thank for his time. And please make like some take some time to like advertise yourself. Let us know what are you up to and what are you doing right now.
Definitely. So number one place to find me is going to be on Twitter. It's just at Dylanander, my name. Number two, if you want to follow my newsletter where I drop like a ton of value every single week, it's heatmap.com/newsletter. Pretty easy. That's where I go a lot further in depth about CRO. And lastly is just sign up for heatmap.com if you have an e-commerce store. You have no idea what on your page is driving revenue. If you're a media buyer and you see you're pushing ads to your homepage, you can filter for meta traffic and see what people are doing that way. So there's absolutely no reason, and it starts at $47 a month. I don't know any other softwares that are this cheap. So right now, as we're in beta, these prices are probably going to triple, quadruple. So jump on it now while you can. Yeah, it's going to completely change the way that you look at websites. Like you'll never be able to look at a website the same way. And then once you're on one, people add 3 more websites, because any website you touch, you're going to need to know what on your website is driving revenue, because the value that you get on meta ads, on email, on SEO, on literally any single marketing practice, influencers, like absolutely everything. Heat maps have been so underutilized because they're so useful for every type of marketing, but now you actually know the revenue before you never have. And I always wondered why no one built it. And it's because it was really freaking hard. It was impossible. This took me 18 months with 20 developers. So not easy. Now it's easy that you get to click and see all the revenue, but that's the whole point. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me. My email is dylan@heatmap.com. And I don't need consulting dollars. I don't need your money. I'm just here to help.
That's great. That's great. I totally agree with the about the importance of heat maps, and I have never tried yours actually, and I think I'm going to do it. And definitely, something that I fully recommend is to use heat maps, regardless of if you are using Dylan's one, which maybe I will try and make a feedback on my pages one day. And definitely have a look on CRO. Don't sleep on it. Re-listen to this podcast because Dylan has provided a lot of very, very valuable information. I don't know how many clips I will take from this podcast because this was very, very impressive. So thank you again, Dylan. Thank you so much. And I will see you the next time. See you also to the listeners of podcast to the next episode. And wish everyone a great day. Bye.